poor girl became the CEO's stand-in lover. Unexpectedly, she's the only cure that keeps him alive. Imagine this, a young woman, barely scraping by, working 2 jobs just to keep food on the table and a roof over her head. She's invisible to the world, just another face in the crowd, struggling to survive. But one fateful night, everything changes. A twist of fate thrusts her into a life she never imagined, where she becomes not only the stand-in lover for a powerful CEO, but also his literal lifeline. Sounds impossible, right? Yet that's exactly what happens in this story. A tale of love, survival, sacrifice, and secrets that will leave you questioning how far someone would go to save another. The girl at the center of it all is Mia Harper, a 24-year-old who grew up knowing nothing but hardship. Her days are filled with long hours as a waitress at a diner during the day and cleaning offices late into the night. She dreams of something better, but reality keeps dragging her back, down. Despite her struggles, Mia has an unshakable sense of kindness and resilience. It's this very quality that catches the attention of Alexander Kane, the enigmatic billionaire whose name is synonymous with power and success. But beneath his polished exterior lies a man burdened by a dark secret, one that could cost him his life. Alexander isn't your typical CEO. Sure, he's arrogant, commanding, and used to getting what he wants. But there's more to him than meets the eye. For years, he's lived under the shadow of a rare medical condition that no doctor has been able to fully understand or cure. His wealth allows him access to the best care money can buy. Yet nothing seems to work. That is, until fate intervenes, in the form of Mia. Their first meeting is anything but romantic. It happens when Mia accidentally spills coffee on him during her shift at the diner. Embarrassed and flustered, she expects him to lash out, but instead, he looks at her with a mix of curiosity and something else she can't quite place. Little does she know, this moment will change both their lives forever. What neither of them realizes at the time is that Mia holds the key to Alexander's survival. Doctors have discovered that her presence somehow stabilizes his condition, though they don't fully understand why. The science behind it is baffling, almost unbelievable, but the results are undeniable. Without her near him, Alexander's health deteriorates rapidly. This revelation sets off a chain of events that forces them together in ways neither anticipated. Reluctantly, Mia agrees to become his stand-in lover, a role that comes with its own set of challenges and dangers. As much as she tries to convince herself it's just a job, the lines between duty and desire begin to blur. Their relationship starts off rocky. To say the least, Alexander is used to being in control, and having someone like Mia, a complete stranger from a completely different world, so close to him shakes him to his core. He's torn between gratitude for what she represents, his chance at survival, and frustration over how deeply she unsettles him. Meanwhile, Mia struggles with feelings of inadequacy and guilt. She knows she's playing a part, pretending to be something she's not. But the longer she stays by Alexander's side, the harder it becomes to remember why she agreed to this arrangement in the first place. Is it really just about saving his life? Or is there something deeper stirring between them? As the days turn into weeks, the tension between them grows palpable. There are moments of tenderness, fleeting glimpses of vulnerability that hint at the possibility of something real. But just as quickly, those moments are overshadowed by mistrust and fear. Alexander's past is riddled with betrayals and broken relationships, leaving him wary of letting anyone get too close. And Mia, for all her strength, carries scars of her own, reminders of a childhood marked by loss and abandonment. Together, they're like two puzzle pieces that fit perfectly, but refuse to lock into place. But it's not just their personal demons they have to contend with. Someone out there knows about Mia's unique connection to Alexander, and they'll stop at nothing to exploit it. Threats begin to surface, forcing them to confront the harsh truth. Their bond, however fragile, has made them targets. Every step forward feels like 2 steps back as they navigate a world filled with danger, deception, and heartache. Can Mia truly be the cure that keeps Alexander alive? Or is she walking into a trap that could destroy them both? Just when it seems like things couldn't get any more complicated, a shocking discovery throws everything into chaos. Mia learns something about Alexander's past that makes her question everything she thought she knew about him and herself. Was their meeting truly a coincidence? Or was it orchestrated by forces beyond their control? As the layers of secrecy peel away, the stakes grow higher, and the line between protector and protected begins to blur. With each revelation, the weight of their situation presses down on them, testing the limits of their resolve and forcing them to make choices that could alter their lives forever. And then, just as Mia thinks she's starting to understand the depth of Alexander's vulnerabilities, a new player enters the scene. Someone from his past who claims to hold answers to the mystery surrounding his illness. This person brings with them a promise of hope, but also a warning: trust no one. The arrival of this mysterious figure sets off a series of events that leaves Mia questioning whom to believe and what to do next. Should she continue standing by Alexander's side, even if it means risking her own safety? Or should she walk away before it's too late? As the story unfolds, the audience is drawn deeper into a web of intrigue, emotion, and suspense. Every interaction between Mia and Alexander crackles with intensity, every decision fraught with consequences. The chemistry between them is undeniable, yet so is the danger lurking in the shadows. By the end of this introduction, viewers will find themselves on the edge of their seats, desperate to know what happens next. Will Mia find the courage to face the challenges ahead? Can Alexander let go of his pride and allow himself to be vulnerable? And most importantly, will their connection prove strong enough to withstand the storms threatening to tear them apart? With so many questions left unanswered and tensions running high, the stage is set for an unforgettable journey. Love, loyalty, and survival collide in a story that explores the lengths we'll go to for the people who matter most. Just when you think you figured it out, another twist sends everything spiraling in a new direction. So buckle up, because this is only the beginning. What started as a chance encounter between a poor girl and a wealthy CEO has evolved into something far greater and far more dangerous than either of them ever imagined. Stay tuned to see where this unpredictable path leads. As the days pass, Mia begins to uncover fragments of Alexander's past that paint a picture far more complex than she initially imagined. Through whispered conversations with his staff and snippets of information dropped unintentionally by those around him, she learns about the immense pressure he's carried since taking over the family business at just 23 years old. It wasn't just the weight of running a multi-billion-dollar empire. It was also the burden of living up to an impossible legacy left behind by his late father, a man who had been both revered and feared. But what strikes Mia most is the loneliness that seems to follow Alexander like a shadow. Despite being surrounded by people, he's always alone in the truest sense, guarded and closed off, as if afraid to let anyone see the cracks beneath his polished exterior. Meanwhile, Alexander wrestles with his growing feelings for Mia. He tries to convince himself that their connection is purely transactional, that her presence is merely a medical necessity. But deep down, he knows there's something more. She challenges him in ways no one else ever has, forcing him to confront parts of himself he'd rather ignore. Her kindness isn't calculated or strategic. It's genuine, and it unnerves him. Yet even as he finds himself drawn to her, he can't shake the fear that trusting her could lead to disaster. His mind constantly replays the betrayals he's endured. Friends who turned out to be opportunists, lovers who only wanted his money, and rivals who sought to destroy him. Every instinct tells him to push Mia away before she becomes another name on that list. The tension between them reaches a breaking point when Mia stumbles upon documents hidden in Alexander's office. At first glance, they seem innocuous, financial, reports and legal contracts. But buried within them are references to experimental treatments and classified research projects linked to his condition. One phrase catches her eye: biological synchronicity. The term sounds almost poetic, yet chillingly clinical. When she confronts Alexander about it, he reacts with uncharacteristic defensiveness, refusing to explain further. Instead, he warns her not to dig deeper, claiming it's for her own safety. But Mia isn't someone who backs down easily. If anything, his evasiveness fuels her determination to uncover the truth. This discovery sets off a chain reaction of events that escalates the stakes dramatically. Unbeknownst to Mia, the mysterious figure from Alexander's past, an estranged mentor named Dr. Evelyn Hart, is secretly orchestrating moves from the sidelines. Evelyn was once a trusted advisor to Alexander's father and played a pivotal role in developing the early theories behind Alexander's treatment. However, her methods were controversial, bordering on unethical, which led to her eventual exile from the company. Now, she reappears under the guise of offering help, presenting herself as the only person capable of fully understanding Mia's role in Alexander's survival. But her intentions remain murky, leaving both Mia and Alexander unsure whether she's an ally or a threat. While all this unfolds, a subplot involving Mia's younger brother, Ethan, adds another layer of complexity to the story. Ethan, a college dropout struggling with addiction, has always relied on Mia to bail him out of trouble. When he shows up unexpectedly at her apartment, desperate and scared, she's torn between helping him and staying focused on protecting Alexander. Ethan's arrival forces Mia to confront her own vulnerabilities, the guilt she feels over not being able to save their parents, the sacrifices she's made to keep him afloat, and the resentment simmering beneath the surface. As much as she loves her brother, she knows his presence puts her in danger. With enemies closing in, every loose end becomes a potential liability. The climax begins to take shape during a high-stakes gala hosted by Kane Enterprises. The event is meant to showcase Alexander's resilience and strength as a leader, but it quickly spirals into chaos. Just as Mia and Alexander prepare to make a public appearance together, a move designed to quell rumors about his health, Evelyn makes a surprise entrance, publicly accusing Alexander of hiding critical information about his condition. The room erupts into murmurs, cameras flash wildly, and Mia watches in horror as Alexander's carefully constructed facade starts to crumble. For the first time, the world sees him not as the untouchable CEO, but as a man fighting for his life. In the midst of the turmoil, Mia receives a chilling message on her phone. A photo of Ethan, bound and gagged, with a demand for her to meet the sender alone. Panic grips her as she realizes the kidnappers know exactly how to manipulate her. They've targeted the one person she'd do anything to protect. Torn between staying by Alexander's side and saving her brother, Mia faces the hardest decision of her life. Meanwhile, Alexander, sensing something is wrong, follows her discreetly, unwilling to let her face whatever danger lies ahead alone. the night takes a darker turn as Mia arrives at the designated location, an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city. There she comes face to face with the mastermind behind the threats, a disgraced scientist who once worked alongside Evelyn. He reveals that Mia's unique biological compatibility with Alexander wasn't a coincidence. It was engineered years ago. Experiments conducted without her knowledge altered her DNA, making her the perfect match to stabilize Alexander's failing body. The revelation leaves Mia reeling, questioning everything about her identity and purpose. Was she chosen because of who she is, or because of what they made her? As the confrontation escalates, Alexander bursts onto the scene, determined to save Mia despite his deteriorating health. What follows is a heart-pounding sequence of events filled with narrow escapes, unexpected alliances, and devastating betrayals. Evelyn, caught between her loyalty to Alexander's father and her desire to right past wrongs, plays a pivotal role in turning the tide, but at a cost neither Mia nor Alexander could have anticipated. By the time the dust settles, both characters are forever changed, their bond tested in ways neither thought possible. Yet, even as the immediate danger subsides, lingering questions remain. Can Mia forgive Alexander for keeping such a monumental secret? And can Alexander trust himself to love someone so deeply entangled in his survival? The answers lie just beyond the horizon, but the journey to get there will require courage, sacrifice, and an unwavering belief in the power of human connection. As the final pieces fall into place, the audience is left breathless, eager to see how this extraordinary tale concludes. As the confrontation in the warehouse reaches its peak, the air is thick with tension. Mia stands frozen, her mind racing to process the horrifying truth about her engineered connection to Alexander. The scientist smirks, clearly relishing the chaos he's unleashed. But before he can say another word, Evelyn steps forward. Her voice cuts through the room like a blade, revealing that she orchestrated the experiments years ago, but not for the reasons anyone expected. It wasn't just about saving Alexander, she admits, her eyes filled with regret. It was about giving you both a chance at something greater than survival, a chance at redemption for all of us. The revelation shocks everyone, including Alexander, who had no idea Evelyn's involvement ran so deep. For a moment, the weight of her confession silences the room, but then, without warning, the scientist lunges toward Mia, determined to use her as leverage. In a split second, Alexander throws himself into the fray, his body trembling from the strain of exertion. Despite his worsening condition, it's clear he's running on sheer willpower alone, driven by the desperate need to protect her. As the two men struggle, Evelyn seizes the opportunity to disable the scientist's weapon, giving Mia the opening she needs to act, summoning every ounce of courage. Mia grabs a nearby fire extinguisher and swings it with all her might, knocking the scientist unconscious. The room falls silent, except for the sound of heavy breathing. Alexander collapses to his knees, his face pale and sweat-drenched, but alive. Mia rushes to his side, holding him tightly as tears stream down her face. "You idiot," she whispers, half laughing, half crying. "You weren't supposed to risk your life for me." But Alexander shakes his head weakly, his gaze steady, despite his frailty. "I couldn't let you go," he says softly. "Not again." In the aftermath of the ordeal, the authorities arrive, taking the scientist into custody and securing Ethan, who is found unharmed but shaken. Evelyn surrenders, herself willingly, ready to face the consequences of her actions. Before being led away, she looks at Mia and Alexander one last time. "Take care of each other," she says simply, her voice tinged with sorrow and hope. Her words linger in the air long after she's gone, a reminder of the fragile balance between love and sacrifice. Back at Alexander's penthouse, the couple finally has a moment to breathe. They sit together on the balcony overlooking the city, the skyline glittering like stars against the night. Neither speaks for a while. The silence between them, heavy with everything they've been through. Finally, Mia breaks it. "Do you think we'll ever really understand what happened?" she asks, her voice barely above a whisper. Alexander takes her hand in his grip firm, yet gentle. "Maybe not completely," he replies. "But I know one thing for sure. I wouldn't be here without you, and I don't want to be anywhere else unless you're with me." Their conversation turns to the future, a topic that once seemed impossible to even consider. With the threat neutralized and Evelyn's research now under ethical review, there's hope for a cure that doesn't rely solely on Mia's presence. Doctors begin exploring new treatments based on the breakthroughs uncovered during the crisis, giving Alexander a fighting chance at a normal life. Meanwhile, Mia decides to pursue her dream of becoming a counselor, using her experiences to help others navigate their own struggles. It's a path she never imagined for herself, but one that feels right somehow. Ethan, too, finds a way to rebuild his life. Seeing how far Mia went to save him inspires him to seek help for his addiction. He checks into rehab, vowing to turn things around, not just for himself, but for his sister, who has always believed in him even when he didn't deserve it. Their relationship isn't perfect, but it's stronger than ever, built on honesty and mutual support. As weeks turn into months, Mia and Alexander grow closer, their bond deepening with each passing day. They learn to trust each other fully, shedding the walls they'd built around themselves. Alexander starts delegating more responsibilities at work, allowing himself to focus on what truly matters: living. Together, they travel, explore, and create memories that remind them how precious life is. For the first time, they're not just surviving, they're thriving. The story concludes with a quiet yet powerful scene. Standing on a beach at sunset, Mia watches as Alexander kneels in the sand, pulling out a small velvet box. Inside is a simple ring, its elegance matched only by the sincerity in his eyes. "Mia Harper," he begins, his voice steady, despite the emotions swelling within him. "You saved me in every way a person can be saved. Will you stay with me, for real this time? Not because I need you, but because I love you." Tears well up in Mia's eyes as she nods. Unable to speak, she helps him to his feet, wrapping her arms around him as the waves crash behind them. In that moment, they realize that love isn't about perfection or convenience. It's about choosing each other, flaws and all, even when the odds seem insurmountable. As they walk hand in hand along the shore, the horizon glowing with promise, the audience is left with a profound sense of hope, love, resilience, and the courage to face the unknown. These are the forces that define us, shaping our lives in ways we could never predict. And so, the tale of the poor girl who became the CEO's stand-in lover comes full circle, leaving viewers with a lingering question. What would you do for the person who means everything to you?